Well, it's martini time again. And I always enjoy this time of the day because I like the martini, but I like just speaking spontaneously about what happened today, at least in my world, in my head, you see, and see where my monkey is going to jump. And so, if if you hang out with me, at least here on Facebook, you'll notice that I have 2 feet, okay? And one foot stands in everyday events, politics, current events, my current events, the facts. But the other foot stands in emptiness, or in, I'll go ahead and say in the Buddha, in the sense that the Buddha is a metaphor for, and see, I don't even have words to describe it, but what we're grasping with here is putting the two. See, this is a compass, you know, like it's joined here. So one foot is in physical things, facts, current events, and the other foot is in the heart, in the spiritual center, which has no form. It's formless. Because this foot's in form, this foot's in formlessness. So how do we put them together? You see? This has been my whole life. How to put these two together so it becomes, you know, it becomes 2 fingers of the same hand. And not 2 separate fingers, you see? And we live in a compartmentalized world where you go to church on Sunday, that's 1 finger, and the other finger runs around in the world, and they're not connected. There's no relationship. So that's the secular world, the historical world, the factual world. And then we have the spiritual world, which has been crammed into a little bitty space, painted into a corner, you see. And I think the spiritual journey, the spiritual life, is when you push back and you let that little corner where you've been painted into a corner, and you begin to let it spread out like water over the whole floor. Now, if you let water spread out, the spiritual water spread out over the whole floor, say it's a mosaic tile, say it's history, say it's facts and history and things and current events and all that, and you let this water flow out over it, you still see through it. The water is formless in the sense that you can't see it, but it's there. So you see through it. So now these historical forms are seen through the clarity of the water. And now the historical forms become metaphors that point to the water. So we're looking at Trump today. Okay, so that's the whole TV's been full of Trump. And ironically, the released emails. The whole election was on Hillary's emails, the hidden emails. Got to get them out. And now Trump Jr. has released an email that has painted Trump into a corner. Isn't that ironic? I was just watching a clip on there, and Trump was saying, "I love emails." So it's very, you know, you got to laugh. It's sad, really. But there's a certain joy in irony. There's a certain humor, there's a laughter in irony. Irony, that's God's ironic. Metaphors are ironic. See, because a metaphor, and I know you're tired of me talking about metaphors, but let's take a look at Trump as a metaphor. So Trump is one leg points to Trump as a historical fact. He's external to us. You look at that, you can measure him, you can write about him, you can have opinions and beliefs, and you can say he's right, he's wrong. All of that is objective. All of that is the summation of everything we know about Trump, and it's all divided into I'm either for him or I'm against him. So if you're for him, you have the facts and the context that support him. If you're against him, you have the facts and the context that's against him, you see. So it's kind of like a duel of context. Which context is the stronger? So each side is trying to pull out the facts that support the context that say he's bad, and the other side is trying to deflate those contexts and pull out their proof that he's good. And so the war goes on. And so the reality is divided. But that is just the objective view. But the metaphorical truth is that Trump reflects us. And this is the way I look at it, and that's the thing. Metaphors are creative. You can make them mean anything you want. So Trump to me is kind of like a Shakespearean play. Shakespearean plays were morality plays, very skilled ones, you see. But they were all about life and the truth of life and the irony of life, you see. And he said, life is the world is a stage. That's a metaphor, by the way. The world is a stage. See, it's not a real stage, but it's a stage. So it's a stage and not a stage. So Trump is what is Trump then, you see? So Trump is a personification of our ego on a world stage. And so let me just give, what does the ego do? Well, the ego is a defense mechanism to hide pain. The buried pain of life. Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. The hidden pain, the grievances, the collected grievances of humanity is down there. The collective grievances of my people. Collectives have a pain body. Black people have a pain body. The people who lost, the white people that lost the Civil War have a pain body. Jews have a pain body. Irish have a pain body. Everybody has a pain body, you see. And so we protect that because we don't want it exposed. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to cry. We don't want to be vulnerable, see. And life is vulnerable. So this ego structure is really designed to avoid being vulnerable. Now, what's Trump's vulnerability? He has a big pain body. And you can tell it in his rhetoric, in his exaggeration of winning. See, Trump's big fear is losing. He's a winner. Win-win. You see, vote for me, you win-win, you see. So what does he fear? The pain of being a loser. The humiliation of not being worthy to even exist. That's what the pain feels like. I'm not worthy, I'm a loser. And that is, we hide that deep. That is buried so deep, you see. But what happens when you have that deep pain buried deep is that you cannot lose at any cost. So now the means become, so now winning becomes, you have to win at any cost because you can't be a loser. You can't. There's no option. No option to lose. So when you have no option to lose, the means, you'll do anything to win when you have to, when you get down to it. See? And so it looks like Trump and his party got down to it. They had the opportunity to win using Russian information. Couldn't turn it down. Got to win. Any means to the end. You see, it's okay because you got to win, so you justify it. So when you justify the means to it, when you use any means to an end, of course you're going to justify the means and rationalize it and frame it in such a way that you had no choice. Watch British Mysteries. The murderer, when he's caught, he always says, "I had no choice. I had to do it." You see, the means to the end. So all crime basically is a means to an end, which is to keep the pain buried, not confess, not become vulnerable, not to admit you're wrong, not to admit you're human, basically. Not to admit you're human. And see, not to when that admission opens the heart. And so Trump, it basically, we're watching on a world stage the projection of our own ego and our struggle to hide the pain and prevent from becoming vulnerable, becoming human, you see. And so on larger and, bigger, large scale, that's the human story, And so I just think that we're watching and participating in this American Shakespearean play on a grand scale, you see, of the person who, and this is another thing too, that when you are hiding your life, your vulnerability, when you're hiding your heart, this hand is going to do everything it can to hide it and win and obscure the truth. And this hand is going to work under the covers to defeat this hand. Why? Because nature restores balance. Didn't you watch the Avatar? The mother restores balance. You see. So, if you look at here, there's a monkey here, and there's a monkey there. That's balance. So you see here, there's a hand here, and there's a hand here. That's balance. So when this hand is obscuring and avoiding your life, this hand is going to be operating in the opposite way to restore balance. So whatever this hand does during the day, this hand will undo at night. Did you watch The Life of Pi? And the carnivorous, I got to fix my glasses, they keep dropping. The Life of Pi and the carnivorous island where Pi stayed until he discovered that it was dangerous. And when he left, he said, whatever the island gives during the day, it takes away at night, you see. So Trump does that. Whatever he gives during the day, he takes away at night with these tweets. See? That restores balance. Whatever you do positive, the other hand is going to do negative, so you always come to zero. But then, of course, you blame, what the right, let's see, so you're looking at this, so this is the right, so whatever the right hand is doing, the left hand is going to undo. But you blame the undoing on somebody else. I didn't do it because that's unconscious. So the mind that is hiding its pain is half conscious and half unconscious. And the unconscious works against the conscious. But the conscious blames the unconscious on somebody else. He did it. The immigrants did it. The Jews did it, you see. You see. So the consciousness is divided. One eye sees a reality in which I'm a winner. The other eye doesn't see anything. But reality is happening, and all of the upsets and everything that's tearing you down, you see, is blamed on somebody else, which just makes you more determined, which creates more pressure to win and more frustration, because no matter what you do to win, your hidden hand is undoing you, and you can't figure it out. So you become more violent, more frustrated, until finally you do some mad act, you see, that just blows up the whole thing. And that restores zero, you see? Everything comes to zero. Nature is zero. The cosmos is some zero. The cosmos is some zero, you see. So, it's just interesting to see this Shakespearean play work itself out, you see. And we're all, it's like we're watching a detective mystery. It's like we're watching, an unfolding spy novel. Who could have dreamed this up? Who dreamed? Well, we dreamed it up. The American people. This is our Shakespearean play. Trump is us. We created Trump. The Republican Party, the Democrats. Nothing stands alone. Everything rises together. No one thing causes another thing. You can't, what is the cause of anything here? What is the cause of this battery? Well, you would just say, you could say the factory, But then everything in this battery has a different cause. And then you have the people who built the battery, the person who designed the battery, the people who got the stuff, there's infinite causes. So looking for a cause is just what we choose to see. What works best, you see. But there's no single cause. So there's no cause for Trump. You can single out different things and say, oh, that's the cause, or oh, that's the cause, and argue about it, But we are the cause of Trump. The modern world is the cause. Modern America has brought ourselves to this place where Trump bloomed. Now, why did Trump bloom? What's the metaphor in that? Well, he bloomed so we could see ourselves. He bloomed so we could see a personification of us. In our America first, America win-win, no matter what, America first, you see. Well, we're living in a global world now. The new paradigm is a global paradigm. We all know that. Everything, you go to Walmart, the thing is full of stuff from all over the world. You start screwing around with that and the whole store will be empty. Then what do you do? Walmart destroyed all the mom and pop stores, so there was nothing left but Walmart. And so then if that dries up, we're cooked. But it's an interrelated global world now. So anytime the America says, America first, screw you, that's the American ego, you see. The collective ego. And so what does that do, you see? I mean, there are two pressures going on today. A greater unity is being created out of the global interconnected economies and people through Facebook and anything. Everybody, I go to Facebook and I got friends in India and all over, and I just talk to them like they're in Blackstone. It's amazing. See, so we're actually living in an interconnected global paradigm, but we're acting like we're, kids, kids in a playground getting into a push fight over who is the biggest on the playground. So what kind of playground stuff? Me first. Push, get out of the way. Me first. Boom, get out of the way. America first. Screw you guys, And that's going against the force of civilization to create a greater union of interconnected economies and people. You can't resist that. It's already here. It's not like you can stop it. We're living in it. You can't stop it. You have to understand it and work with it. You can't stop evolution. This is the evolution of civilization. We've already been through nation states, and look what that did. That created Hitler and Japan. Empires, colonial empires, nation states. Well, nation states created European wars for 200 or 300 years. Then we had empires, British Empire, German Empire, Japanese Empire. And that created world wars, you see. You want to go back to that? You can't go back. So this American ego, is on the stage for us to see. It's on the stage. So anyway, thanks for dropping in, and I'll see you in the morning at Zen Live.